Okay. Okay, so Anna, you write all these letters and kind of move your story along through that. My question is for you. Who would you write letters to help you through your tough times dealing with different situations?
Well, coincidentally, my list is pretty similar to Laurel's. I think the people who are, some of the people who are most special to me or who really helped me growing up, who I really loved, I put into the book. You know, I've been asked this question a lot, and I haven't actually ever come up with anybody outside of the book, so I'm trying to think if I can do that for you at this moment.
You can't leave Bardugo.
But you're alive.
Well, you can run into anybody. It doesn't have to be.
Foreshadowing.
Don't tell me.
A little writer's trick. A little writer's trick.
Question for Emmy is, I'm almost done with Monument. I'm the third book. I'm doing the audiobook. Almost done. I have like 2 CDs left.
Ooh.
Yes.
Isn't Todd Haberkorn a great narrator?
He is. He's amazing.
Wait, does he do the third one too? Yeah. With Josie? Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a really good job with it. Like, it's eerily really good.
Strong feelings about that.
Yes. No, he does like a really good like female voice, and that normally annoys me.
Okay.
It's really good. Okay. So when I first started reading the books, I kind of described them as a lighter, like dystopian or post-apocalyptic, just because it didn't feel so dark because they were in the superstore and things were going pretty well for them. Not so much now in book 3. Things are little not so going so well. But the feel of the book has stayed the same for me. It still feels a little bit lighter, not so heavy. Is that something that you feel, as you know, being your comedic background, that you kind of bring into the book, or is that something that came to the book naturally because of the you have a wide range of ages in the book, and so the characters kind of drove that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm so happy that it doesn't seem too dark to you or too depressing or oppressive. I really wanted the book to feel real. So the series of catastrophic events that strands these 14 kids in the superstore, I wanted them to react to it the way I thought real people would. And real people, well, certainly they can get really depressed and go to a dark place, and they can stay in a dark place for a really long time. But I wanted there to be moments of levity as well as dealing with the grief and the danger. And I also wanted there to be love in the book, and the way these kids, it's really about a group of teenagers creating a new society together.
Yeah,
so
family and...
Yeah, they're taking care of each other as family would. And there's a lot of lightness and love, I think, in those kinds of interactions.
Very cool. And then I got told to ask you about DNFs.
Oh, no, who said that?
Nancy from Ravenous Readers.
DNF. This came up at an event the other night. Somebody said, we were talking about a book which will remain nameless, and somebody said, DNF. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'd never heard it before. And so I learned that it means did not finish. And I think that's such a great term, just
like you don't like. DNF you.
She DNF'd her nut shake the next day.
Right. I had a nut milkshake, and I was like, DNF. So, it's my new favorite term.
That's really funny. My first question, which is like the real question, is I love the before and afters at the end of each book. Were those always part of the book? How did you decide to put them in, and then how did you decide to take that particular format with them, since it's such a different point of view from the book?
I wanted, with the before and the after, I knew I wanted to write the series in first person, because I wanted to try to make it's secondary world fantasy, and a lot of people shy away from it. So I sort of wanted to try to make it more accessible, and I felt like Alina's POV was more pragmatic. You know, she's a little prickly, she's a little sour, and I wanted to ground this magical, strange world in this somewhat modern thinking girl's voice. But I also wanted to have the sense of a much larger story. And to me, the before and the after give you the sense of fairy tale and of the sure and steady hand of fantasy, that the story you're about to hear means much more than the people living it realize. So that was why I created them, and they are honestly the hardest parts of the book to write, and much closer to the voice I use in when I write the Rothkin folktales. Yeah.
Cool. And my other question is, you posted on Instagram and Tumblr the quote, "Despise your heart."
Yes.
So, and it said to ask you the origin. So I wanted to share that with our readers.
Yes, I didn't think that through very well. I sort of figured the person at the first event would ask me that, not thinking, yes. So I apologize for not
We enjoy hearing the story again and again.
Again and again and again.
We enjoy hearing it. It's actually fascinating. And I like
It is,
hearing
it's
you
really
pronounce
cool.
the name of
Me
these
too.
places.
I'm waiting for the right moment to say that out loud.
One of you throughout the tour.
I
So,
have
Despise Your Heart came from a college course I took. It's actually Kikongo, and the real saying is Mbutu Sala, which means despise your heart, do what needs to be done, and it's what you say before you go into battle. My take on it was to then create a response. So in Shu, you say Yuye Sesh, which means despise your heart, and then the response is Niwe Sesh, which means I have no heart. As in, I'm about to go and kick somebody's ass. So that is the story of that quote.
Thank you. You switch between the different points of views throughout the book. Which point of view did was kind of the origin point of view that you originally thought the story through in? So which did you start with? Which did you discover last? And then which point of view surprised you the most?
That's a great question. Oddly enough, I started the story with the first chapter that's still the start of the book as it is today, which was Elaine. And her voice, while all the voices came to me really easily, Elaine was relatively the hardest voice. But it was the first one because she was so confident. She's Elaine, she's the queen bee, and she's going to tell you what happened, and she has no doubts in her mind what Alice Franklin did at the party. So I'd always meant to start it that way, and that's how it started and how it came out. The voice that surprised me the most, Kelsey, actually in very, very early drafts was two separate characters, and then kind of merged into one. And that merging kind of made her this new character to me, and that she sort of surprised me with how honest she was about how brutal her life could be and the brutal things that she herself does.